Good afternoon. This is Debbie Davis. It is August 13, 2025. Okay, so I'm trying to address this situation where I've talked about this multiple times. I've had this false warrant put against me in 2018. This is how long I've been dealing with this Sheriff Dave Ackerman and his false charges. Okay, and I've tried to address the situation with him, with the state's attorney, Austin Hoffman, with the attorney general, with the federal attorney general in Sioux Falls, and a federal lawsuit. Okay, this is the level that we've tried to get him to remove charges, to do real investigations. This guy is like the ultimate. This sheriff is like the ultimate opposite of what a constitutional sheriff. He's the biggest criminal sheriff I've ever seen in my life. Okay, and his deputy is no different. Deputy Benz. When Stu Webb was staying at my house, and then he stopped paying rent. Okay, Stu Webb was my friend, and then he's not my friend anymore. Okay, I was nice enough to rent my house to him for a while. He has a radio show, and I thought he was a patriot and a friend. And he, what he did is he just stopped paying rent. So thinking that he could just squat. Maybe Sheriff Ackerman got involved, thinking, saying, hey, because they don't like me, of course, so maybe they all got in cahoots together. But Stu Webb tried to just not pay me, and tried to squat at my house. Okay, so I had tried to involve this Deputy Benz to try to get him evicted properly. So I had given Stu the appropriate number of days, 30 days, to vacate my property since he stopped paying rent on top of it. And he refused. Okay, he was still at my house, so then I had to try to get the deputies, who are criminals themselves, involved. Thankfully, there was one female at the time. She's smart. She doesn't work there anymore. That did help me out and helped me to make sure that he was no longer there. Okay, but does this Deputy Benz refuse to help me? And so basically he was just allowing Stu to just squat at my house. So we have an issue with not only the sheriff, but some of the deputies there. The female's no longer there. She was nice, and she tried to help me. But yeah, that's what Stu Webb did to me. Stu Webb is not a nice guy. Okay, he acts like he's a patriot, and he's had this radio show for years. And he is extremely disrespectful to women. He was extremely disrespectful to me. He actually damaged my house when I was nice enough to let him. I mean, he's just living on a very small amount of Social Security money, and I was nice enough to let him rent my house, and he damaged it and stole some stuff and tried squatting on top of it. Okay, so this is Stu Webb. So then I had tried to call, get the local police, which is Dave Ackerman, the criminal, and the deputies involved, and they did nothing to help me except for the one female who's no longer there. So now it's been over 7 years, and by law, by federal law, you only have 5 years to actually prosecute somebody. I haven't been back there. I've been renting different places. For a while, I was back in Minnesota, of course, helping my mom take care of my dad, who had Alzheimer's, and I was working in Minnesota. And I was renting out my house. I've been renting out the house. And then, so there's a federal statute, that 18 USC 3282, that says you only have 5 years to prosecute. Okay, this is a made-up charge. There's 2 charges against me that I know of, and one of them was he said I was disorderly at the scene of an accident. Okay, really? There's like 30 of us there. How was I disorderly? I left with everybody else, Sheriff Ackerman. So, but just I was the one disorderly. But of course that makes total sense, right? Totally, in your world. And then there's a charge that I was fleeing from the police. Okay, first of all, it was an unmarked police officer that I had never seen before that pulled me over a month and a half after this accident. And I had no idea what this was about. Sheriff Ackerman had made up a charge of disorderly. If I was disorderly, then maybe something should have happened right at the scene of that accident. So he makes this stuff up a month and a half after I had been at the scene of this fatal car accident in Leola, South Dakota in 2018. I didn't do anything. I just did like 2 minutes of video footage, but he didn't like that for some reason. Even though it's a public road, and he thinks he's above the law. These deputies out there in South Dakota are some of the worst I've ever seen. They think they are above the law. They really do, and they're really, really scary. They're dangerous. I'm telling you, if you go out to South Dakota for hunting or whatever, it's coming up. You could be hunted by these type of people. The sheriffs and the police are some of the most corrupt police I've ever seen in my life. I have warned people before in my videos about these places. Okay. Then on top of it, the misdemeanor, they're both misdemeanors, and within 7 years they're supposed to just drop off. I haven't been able to live in my own house because you're so corrupt. You freaked me out, but now it's been over 7 years. So, because it was June of 2018 that this happened, or it was prior to that. So, anyway, this guy calls me, and they're trying to say that the warrant is still there. I don't know if he doesn't know what he's talking about, or he, clearly they don't know the law, So I guess this is Deputy Benz.
Kristi County Sheriff's Office. Hey, I got a call earlier that I missed it from you, asking about your warrants that you have within our county. A few questions.
Oh, so I still have a warrant there? Because really it's been over 7 years.
Here at the office when you get a second and get a few things figured out for these warrants that you got. Thank you.
Oh, bye. Yeah. They want me to come into court, and where the courts are in cahoots with the sheriffs. Okay, I already know this. I've already heard the stories from the locals. Yeah, that will not be happening. You need to drop these. It's been over 7 years. So I'm attempting to call him back.
Sheriff's Office, Dave speaking.
This is Sheriff Dave Ackerman?
Speaking.
Oh, this is your favorite resident, Debbie Davis.
Hi, Debbie. How are you today?
Don't even talk to me. Okay, what is the status of my warrants? It's been over 7 years, and according to federal law and state law, after 7 years, you can't prosecute.
Okay. They're still active, Deborah.
So why are they still active, Sir Dave Ackerman, the criminal, the worst sheriff in the world? I'm recording this.
That's fine. I'm sorry you feel that way, Deborah. If you have any further questions, you're certainly welcome to contact.
I said, why are they still active? I said, why are they still active?
Because you have not come back to settle those up.
Because after 7 years, they're not active anymore by state and federal law. Do you not know the law?
Yep. Thank you. I disagree with that, Deborah.
Why do you disagree? I want to know the statute. I'm calling for real information about the statutes you are using against me. Do you not know your own state statutes?
Deborah, I'm trying
to... Do you know your own state statutes, Sheriff Ackerman?
Thank you, Deborah. If you're going to yell at me...
Do you know... I want the statute. Oh, now they're going to say disorderly. She's disorderly. I am asking for the state statute. Oh, I know how to act around you. Don't even try to play a game. Okay, so what's the state statute? Is that soft enough for you? Are you like, do we need like kids gloves, or like how do you want me to talk to you exactly?
The state statute for what, Deborah?
What is the state statute you're using for the warrant against me that has been supposed to have been dropped after 7 years? Okay, the law says you only have 7 years, and it's a false charge to begin with. I've sent you the evidence. I've sent to the state's attorney the evidence. You won't drop the charge, even though it's false.
So the state statutes for the crimes that we believe you committed are as follows. Ready?
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready. Let's hear this. Let's hear this. Boy.
6.
What is it?
2211-6. 2211-6 and 2218-35.
Boy, I must be the biggest criminal you've ever seen in that state. Boy, I mean, haven't you seen anything worse, or am I just the worst of them all?
No, Deborah.
Have you seen worse than me?
Worse.
Oh, yeah, I'm not.
You can certainly get.
Boy, I must be the biggest criminal. Boy, I wasn't a criminal before I came to South Dakota. That's really weird, Ackerman. I wasn't, like, I don't have one thing on my record, but according to you, all of a sudden I'm just like this really, really statewide, like, fugitive. Well, how did that happen?
So, Deborah, the warrants are still active. If you would
Okay.
like to come back,
And what are these, oh yeah, he wants me to come back there so he can arrest me with his unmarked sheriff, right? Like you did before through Leola. Yeah? Isn't that when you did that when you didn't even let me know about the warrant to begin with? I already know this game you played. We already played it once. Fool me once or fool me twice. Okay, what's the statute? What does it mean? What is the actual charge? 2211.
The second warrant is 23A-43-31, which is failure to appear.
Okay, so we got 4.
No, you have 2 warrants.
Okay, and what are they for? What is the actual terms? For disorderly?
What one of
Disorderly was one of them?
Is disorderly.
Where you say I was disorderly, even though I got the footage that I was not disorderly. And I've given it to you. And I've given it to the Attorney General as well. And you still won't drop it? Why is that?
Yeah,
Why do you feel that I was disorderly? Why do you feel that I was disorderly?
You can still come back and address these.
I'm not going to come back to you or anywhere near your judges who are all Masons and you're all in cahoots together. Do you understand? What you're doing is illegal. It's past 7 years and you didn't prosecute me within the 7 years, and now it's dropped legally by state and federal law. So if you're not going to follow state and federal law, then you have no business being a sheriff. Do you understand me, Sheriff Ackerman? You've proven yourself, and it is a constitutional violation against me as well, because you have prevented me from living safely in my own home, okay? And violating my Fourth Amendment right to be safe and secure against unreasonable searches and seizures and warrants. You're in violation of federal, state, and constitutional violations. Do you understand me?
Thanks for your time, Deborah.
Thank you! I'm done with this, fuck.